Welcome in the space beyond right and wrong. It may come a bit as a surprise in the current situation to speak about the art of failing and the concept of a learning organization. But stay with me for a moment and I will show you that it is more significant than ever. What I have observed over and over again in different organizations are two common reactions to mistakes and to failure. The first one, and that's the most detrimental to organizations, is to just put it under the carpet. Well, the thing is, it is still there and will start to ferment and sooner or later explode. Obviously, the biggest harm one can cause the organization, and mostly the reasoning behind it is just to keep one's face or status. It literally deprives the organization of the chance to act upon the situation and to learn and to evolve. The second one is to enter into conflicts and to play the winner and loser game. For example, when a direct report or peer made the mistake and a second party speaks a word of power. Not as bad as the first option, but might likely either destroy or harm the relationship. I reckon I do not have to mention that trust and loyalty are one of the biggest assets, not only for the organization, but also prerequisites for successful leadership. And there's a huge difference if somebody thinks you couldn't do better or you didn't want to. The good news is that the latter one usually is simply a lack of skills in communication and self-regulation. So there is a far better option, the third option, which is a solution-oriented communication approach. First and foremost, it's important to praise, and I really mean praise, the one who either made the mistake or brought it to attention and communicated it. Shows the person courage and contribution to the organization. To fail is nothing more than an acronym, first attempt in learning. If you really think about it, learning always means to fail. If you don't fail, you're already a master in it and thus wouldn't learn anything at all. Befriend yourself with the fact that humans do make mistakes and never, and I mean never, attack the person, but rather offer help to solve the problem at hand and to possibly avoid to make the same mistake in the future. So you are welcome to constructively criticize the actions or the behavior, but refrain from attacking the person itself. There's a huge difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. Let me explain. Praise and blame are two sides of the same coin, and with a fixed mindset you would praise somebody, for example, for being intelligent. Yes, it was well meant, but it has mostly the opposite effect of what you would expect, as different psychological studies show. The person will do everything to keep up his or her status as being intelligent, and therefore will not dare to take any risk or try something new. Vice versa, if you praise somebody for being engaged and motivated and having given his or her best in the process, you do encourage the person to even, let's say, fly higher. Same counts for mistakes, as this will be seen as a stepping stone to learn and to improve. And ideally, it is not only the person who learns, but also the team, service line, and maybe whole organization. To be clear, I'm not inviting anybody to make mistakes or to fail, and at the same time we have to accept we are humans and mistakes will be made. So do use them to improve. As Samuel Beckett put it so well, ever tried, ever failed. No matter. Try again, fail better. Due to the current situation, we are challenged more than before. We have to navigate by sight and heavy fog, experience time pressure, and all our decisions and communication is under a magnifying glass because of anxiety and uncertainty. And last not least, we are challenged to communicate clearly, precisely, and empathically to colleagues as well as clients. And there's only one thing you can do driving through fog, as you will not be able to make it vanish, and that is to slow down. At the same time, you can not rely on proven processes and routines, as the context and the challenges have changed. The best thing you can do now is to take your time to think important decisions through. One distinction for me is above and below the waterline. If you are on a ship, a hit above the waterline might be painful but repairable. A hit below the waterline, well, that's a different thing. So in case of the latter one, you are better off reaching out to your peers and have the courage and the capacity to discuss and reflect your position or decision and to jointly find a solution whenever possible. The essential task of an organization is to identify problems in the outer world and continuously develop its competencies to provide better or adequate solutions, and that is, you guessed it, a learning organization. As you become stronger and fitter, growing on your individual and collective challenges. And do not believe anything I say, but rather try it for yourself and practice the art of possibility.